Hello, everyone. This is the Full Spectrum podcast. This is our first time doing the early impressions video, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I am Andrew, and
I'm
this
Trey.
is Trey. So yeah, we're gonna do a first impressions. We were gonna do originally the first 5 chapters of Ni no Kuni 2, but after I completed chapter 4, it kind of felt like that was a good stopping point. You kind of got a full understanding of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously this is spoilers for first 4 chapters. I'm going to say that. Just go ahead and say that on the top, just in case we accidentally say anything.
Yeah, because we probably.
But yeah, I would say it's kind of hard not to. There's some story stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, Nella.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just get into it. Let's get into it. I was gonna go with let's go with the optics first. Let's go with what you see. You want?
It's a JRPG. We need to talk about story. That's the most.
Let's just dive into it. Okay. So you start off as Evan.
Yep.
Well, actually, I guess you start off as Roland.
Yeah.
But
can we talk about my man Roland for a second? Because he's my favorite type of main character. He's not even really the main character. He's my favorite type of character.
Well, what is that?
Dependable older guy that doesn't know everything but will act like he does because he knows that he needs to be depended on and does not even blink at the fact that he's in a fantasy world.
Also, apparently, I think he's supposed to be the president of the United States.
Yep, he is the president of the United States.
Which is bonkers. That's the first scene. Is he gets transported as missiles or
like a city just gets nuked. Like that's the opening to this game.
Yeah, opening. Yeah, that, and then Evan is a innocent little child in the kingdom of Ding Dong Dell, which that is from the first one, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I remembered that much from the little bit I played of Ni no Kuni 1. But
poor Evan, man.
Yeah. Why do you say that, Trey? Why is it poor?
He doesn't deserve the lot he's got in life.
He gets crapped on immediately in this.
Well, and you find out that all the okay. So again, we're jumping around a little bit, but that's okay because spoilers up to the end of chapter 4. You find out later that all the citizens, other than the mice, basically love Evan. They think he's like the best, and this is all like mice related. And it's just like, man, this castle was not ready for this.
No, this kingdom was not ready for this. This it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's a good theme, a good start.
Yeah.
I think there's some other good themes so far in this game, but that's a good start. It's a very realistic theme of of it's racism. I mean,
it absolutely is.
That's straight up. That's what it is. There's no other way around it. The mice and the how do you say it? The Grimalkin?
The Grimalkins.
The cat people.
I've seen a lot of people say in other reviews that the story in this game is a little childish, but when you start the game off with a nuke being fired at a city and then immediately followed up with hardcore racism, it's like I don't think it is as childish as you people seem to think it is.
Well, and I understand because I think it's very childish. Evan keeps saying that he wants a kingdom where everyone can live happily ever after.
I think the right phrase is it's naive, and it's not even a good way.
That's true. That's a good because I don't have a problem with it. I like it because it's right. It's naive. It actually fits the fact that he is a child.
Yes,
he does. Roland's back there, kind of like, all right,
Roland's
man.
Going, man, this world is messed up, and Evan's
like,
we'll fix it, Roland.
Yeah, it's like I don't know about that. Like, after every turn, Evan's just so optimistic about it, and Roland's kind of like, okay. All right, man. Well, I guess we're doing that.
I love Roland. I really.
But yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of jumps to the first town. In the first, I guess the first town really in this game, Gold Paw.
Yeah, which is you get through all the stuff with the Sky Pirates and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's Sky Pirate, like it's more like because you never go back there.
Yeah.
Because they come with you.
Yeah. Can we clarify too? I've seen a lot of people talk about how Batu's reasoning as to how he's about to write off his daughter's life, and then immediately turns around and is like, well, you saved her, so I guess we're friends now. It's like, don't forget that they live in a world where kingdoms have not been very helpful to them and are kind of, from the looks of it, completely inclusive. And they've been fighting these wyverns for who knows how long while trying to survive.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, and also I see it as I mean, it's used as I have much less experience with JRPGs than compared to you, but from my experience, you know, you get those couple of characters. They give you they give you a party.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly. So the max party in this game is 4 people. It's Evan, Roland. You got to have 2 more people. They're gonna give it to you. So it may seem like it's kind of fast paced, but I didn't bother me. I saw what they were doing. They were basically trying to say, hey, here's your 2 other characters.
Yeah. I like Tani. She's okay. He's fine.
She, well, first off, both of them are great if you're talking about fighting. Batu is...
Oh, the gameplay, yes, absolutely.
With his hammer and axes and stuff that he uses, it's very slow, but I was hitting people for 1,000 damage.
Oh, yeah, no, he's very powerful.
Yeah, and then, was it Tatsu?
Tani?
Tani?
Tatsu is a whole different JRPG. Don't you get me started on Tatsu. Tatsu's Xenoblade Chronicles X.
That's how I know it. Okay, I was like, how do I know that name?
Yeah.
Terrible with names.
Tatsu's the one who's always going, you're not going to eat Tatsu, are you?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So he's great is what you're saying. But Tani was my main character in combat encounters until another character came along, which is past the point that we're talking about. So, but yeah, I loved her. First off, it's a RPG game with action based combat where I can steal from the opponent. So I love that, even if it's not very useful. It's still great, and so I like her because she's fast paced.
Yeah.
Evan to me, I don't know. I pictured Evan, which he is a child. I pictured him as being like the magic user.
Yeah, and he kind of is. When you use his ranged abilities, he does a lot of magical stuff going on there. But
there is a character after this point, Trey, that is what I wanted Evan to be. So
okay, that excites me.
But yeah, I mean, what do you your overall feel of the story? Because you go to Goldpaw and you handle business there, and then you get the Declaration of Interdependence.
Yep. And
Evan's goal from there is to go to the other kingdoms and get everybody to sign it, and everybody lives happily ever after.
Yep. Make ever more kingdom that joins up with other kingdoms and unite the world, basically.
Yeah.
My thoughts so far is that it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not the best story I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Some character motivations are a little weak. Batu's whole thing of, well, we're with you now, so that means I'm just going to follow you around all over the world, even though my people that I've been defending all this time are back at this kingdom, and I'm kind of leaving them alone.
where neither you or I are at.
Right. It feels a little, but at the same time, again, you got to build a party. I have excused less before. I think the story so far is pretty good. The main thing of Evan trying to build his kingdom, it exists most likely for the gameplay, which we'll get to in a minute, of building a kingdom.
Yeah.
But story-wise, I do like it because you're adding people from all these other regions and building up this one kingdom that is a melting pot of all the other kingdoms, which is really cool. Evan's okay. I like him a lot as a character. I don't really like him that much as a leader, which is probably the point because Roland is there to back him up.
Roland is there to be the realistic backing.
Yeah. So I like the dynamic the two of them have a lot. The fact that Evan trusts him almost immediately, I've seen some people call that out. It makes perfect sense to me because Roland stood up for him, and then the only other person that he could trust died. So it immediately became, well, I've got no one to turn to.
I've got no one else because they're all dead.
And Roland turning from, I think my favorite thing about the story is that there's a scene extremely, like almost immediately after Roland comes to in the fantasy world, that makes it look like he thinks he's dead. Because when he appears and then looks at himself in the mirror and sees that he's younger, he goes, oh, so that's how it is. Which I love the fact that Roland is just going on with all this because he might think he's dead. Like, the idea of that is amazing to me. And that's why Roland's just throwing himself into all this alongside Evan.
I do say, which I agree. I'm liking the story so far. The Roland, I wish they would have, and they might do it later. I wish they would have kind of he would talk about, instead of going along with it, just literally blindly, just be like, yeah, I guess I'm in a fantasy world now. I guess my country is cool. It's fine. We're about to get bombed and everything. That's cool though.
Yeah,
I guess it's all good. He never talks about it, and I understand, like, it doesn't seem like it's going to be like Ni no Kuni 1 where you go back and forth.
Yeah, I feel
seems like you are going to be in that fantasy world, and that's it.
I think
but I wish he would
come back up later.
That's what I'm hoping there is some kind of, because I mean, he's a leader, and it looks like they're about to get nuked and everything, so it's kind of a big deal.
Well, and there's a moment when you're in the library with Bodley, which her whole quest line is a thing, where you're in the library with Bodley and you're looking at the books and you find out about one of the kingdoms is a very mechanically advanced kingdom. Mm-hmm. And so my thought is maybe they have a portal or something.
Okay.
And that's when he might realize that there's a way back, you know? There's a lot of options there that could be really cool. What I really want to see from the story moving forward is I really want to see a bit more time taken. Like, the story's rushing very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I wish that it would slow down for just a little bit. I'm not asking for, like, Xenoblade, well, now we're going to be in this location for 5 hours and let you just, get a feel for it. Because although I love that, you don't have to have that. But I am asking for, like, well, let's have a short cutscene, Final Fantasy style.
Yeah.
Where we just all kind of hang out for a little bit and figure out what's going on.
They did try to slow it down in Goldpaw, and that's with the librarian's quest line.
Yeah.
Which is literally just a series of fetch quests.
Yes, and that was my biggest complaint with it, is that it was not fun.
No, and I should say, yeah, my problem isn't that it's fetch quests, because there are other fetch quests in this game that I like.
Yeah.
It's just it seemed very nonsensical, and the outcome of it is very nonsensical.
Yeah.
The reason she wanted you to get all that stuff,
so she could flirt.
It's so she could make a lipstick
on Leaf Book.
Yeah.
I had to go kill a demon so you could get lipstick, Bodley?
Yeah, it's like, okay, come on, that's not. I get that they're going for humor. Yeah. I'm gonna assume,
but it wasn't funny.
Did not land for me.
Oh.
I
do like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I liked how Goldpaw decides everything by dice.
Yep.
It's very cool.
The subversion at the end there too, where Pugnacious is like, "Too bad I don't agree with Lady Luck." I was like, "Oh!"
Yeah, that was good. I guess, yeah. What did you think about Pugnacious?
I like Pugnacious. He
was
pretty good.
Just to clarify for the listeners and the viewers, Pugnacious is a pug that is a leader. So it's pretty great.
He's the Grand High Roller.
Yeah, the High Roller, yeah.
I really loved Goldpaw. Other than the stuff with Bodley, Goldpaw so far has been a blast, and I'm hoping the rest of the towns live up to what Goldpaw.
I think there's some good characters in there, like some side characters and stuff that are good.
Once you unlock the kingdom building and you get into actually recruiting people, the fact that some of the stuff you get from recruiting other people is used in quest lines to recruit other people in the same town, like, it all meshes together really well. Like, you recruit Bygone, and Bygone, his grandson is there, and you also have, like, the other fighter that's there, and they both worked for this other guy that you recruited just a minute ago. Like, it all meshes together really well to create this. We call it in JRPGs because of a guy whose name I can't remember his full name, but his screen name had Shandy in it. We call it Shandification. It's when a town in a game feels alive because it is able to explain itself. Very shortly after you get into Goldpaw, you find out that food for Goldpaw is imported in. They don't do any real farming there.
Yeah.
But then it's imported in with the money they get from the casinos. you find out that the casinos are probably all rigged, but that they only use the rigging every once in a while.
Yeah.
They're not as rigged as what everything early on that you find out is. They have this amazing idea. I can't believe nobody's done it before, of the birds.
Oh yeah.
You
owe me.
It's beautiful. It's all comes together for this whole of, yes, this is a fantasy world, but you can see people living in this town.
Right, yeah.
How a day works in their life, and it was great. Really hoping the rest of the kingdoms live up to that. It does feel a little weird calling all of them kingdoms when it's like a town.
When it's, yeah, that I didn't think about that until you just said that. But yeah, that is kind of weird. It's just a city.
Yeah. Hey,
and I mean, it's not really that vast of a city. Yeah, it's also not really that vast of a city. It's big enough for like a JRPG city. Like, I'm not complaining about the size, but
yeah,
when you call it a kingdom, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's no Grand Kokomo. All I'm saying.
I don't even know. That sounds like something familiar.
Tales of the Abyss.
Oh, okay. I guess you want to go ahead and talk about the kingdom building? What do you think? What's your? I
love the kingdom building.
Yeah,
I am all in on the kingdom building. The fact that I recruit NPCs for the kingdom building, not by doing dumb mini games or by sending off, because normally what you would do is you would get even Tales of Berseria, great as a game of that is, or Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which again was another amazing RPG that came out last year. They have Merc missions and the Van Eyfried missions, which are basically just, hey, send out your guys, and after a certain amount of time, they'll come back, and maybe they've got something with them. That's not what this is. This is a fully fleshed out part of the world where to get more people for your kingdom, you have to go find them in the world and say, hey, join my kingdom.
Yeah.
You go, well, I could, but I really need 3 spools of green thread first. If you could get me that. Or there's one guy who's like,
yeah, that's an early one, yeah.
Yeah, I'll join your kingdom, but I gotta know you're on the up and up. Go kill 3 bramble scramblers for me. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. And you come back and he's like, I figured you could do it. I just wanted to see if you actually wanted me to join your kingdom.
I didn't even realize it, but yeah, a lot of those early quests are straight up just give me this thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that is weird. It didn't bother me because it's a JRPG, so I just was like, okay.
I don't mind. But then they're physically in your kingdom, and they're wandering, and you can go talk to them. And you can put them in different facilities, and obviously everybody has their spot they're designed for, but you can put them anywhere if you want to, and push what you want to push for. So, like, right now, while we're having this conversation, I have my kingdom accruing Kingsguilders and picking up, like, fulfilling research. I love that it all seamlessly works together. The only thing I wish was that I had a way to do this while I was not in the kingdom, because it means that I have to fast travel back a lot.
Yeah, that's something that I did not realize for a while, how quickly your coffers and your stores can fill up. And because I would be gone for literally I checked it one time and I was gone for 20 minutes. And I came back and it was full from the level 1 coffers and level 1 kingdom in general.
I have emptied my stores 3 times while we're having this conversation.
Yeah, that is, and I wish there was a way for you got the whole Leaf Book thing. Get some kind of notification.
Yeah.
Hey, your coffers are full. One weird issue I did have. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just kind of annoying. Is you get all these quests, all these side quests and stuff, and you can only track one of them, and nothing will show up on your map.
Yeah.
Unless you have that one quest selected.
Yeah.
You can still go turn in you can still go do the things.
You just can't track
you just can't track them. And I think that's so weird for a game that has as many side quests as it does.
I also feel like, since we're talking about gameplay, the difficulty of the combat's in a really weird place. And I'm not going to say it's too easy, because I was level 12 and got a quest to go kill a level 22 thing for a recruiting to get somebody into my kingdom.
Yeah.
And I barely won that fight. I've died 4 or 5 times now. It's not that it's too easy, but it's in a really weird place where the boss fights feel pretty good. Like the Incineraptor boss fight was tough for me.
Yeah.
But the regular fights aren't really a threat at all.
It's a weird scaling issue, I feel like, because you will, like you said, you will be at a certain level and you will get quests for something that's obvious. Like, it's obvious that you should not and possibly could not be that high of a level already.
Yeah.
And I don't know if their intent is for you to wait. I have noticed, I don't want to say that it's fixed or whatever, but I have noticed a point after Chapter 4, I'll say, where it does seem to plateau.
Okay.
And even out, but I don't know if that's just, I mean, for all I know, it could happen again where something's 15 levels higher than me or whatever.
Yeah.
I do think there's a bigger reliance on your weapons versus
gear
your level.
Is very important.
If you have the right weapon, you can defeat something that's 10 levels higher than you.
Yeah.
And you just keep using the health, the
Soraways?
Soraways, yeah.
And honestly, that's probably where the kingdom building really shines, is if you build up your kingdom and get some really good weapons early on, you're set.
Well, the kingdom building is so in depth because each one has, X amount of people you can put into it, which you can unlock the ability to put more people into it based on what level the kingdom is. And then they each have a certain IQ level on that subject, which if your IQ isn't high enough, you can't do some of the research. Mm-hmm. So if sometimes you only have one person in there, you can't do like level 2 spells or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're just not, they don't have enough knowledge on the subject. I have noticed I like some of them. I found that some of the people are good in multiple areas, even though their description only says spell working or whatever. I was going to put somebody else in and I was like, oh, it says they're suitable for this task as well, which I like. And then there's all the research that you can do on all the different places. And then you can upgrade all the places again, level them up, level up the actual facilities. There's so much to do that I constantly find myself coming back, not just for the coffers and everything, but I'm finding myself coming back just to be like, okay, how much King Guilders do I have to can I build this? Can I finally level this facility up? Yeah. It's the kingdom building is great. And I'll say I do enjoy the combat.
I do too. I think without the Higgledies, it would be a lot more weak without the Higgledies.
I've noticed in a lot of reviews, we talked about it when the game came out. A lot of people were complaining that the Higgledies were non-essential. But I mean, and I agree. You don't have to use them.
Right.
But it's helpful to use them. It's kind of weird. It's almost like saying that
you can beat the game without healing.
Yeah, or hey, well, Tawny's useless because you don't need to ever equip her. And it's like, right? It's an option. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do anything.
But you can.
And you should. It's helpful.
Makes it so much more fun too. Like I got a Higgledy early on, the gravity effect, and can just knock bosses down.
I don't have that one.
And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and he's gonna knock stuff down.
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna get free hits on it, and it's great.
It's great. and there's the Higgledy stones located in the world that ask for a specific item, and you give it to them, and you get another Higgledy. I have a Higgledy who, whenever you activate their ability, it cues the ones around them to activate to pop up with their abilities too.
Ooh.
So you kind of can chain some stuff together. It's like I said, sure you could say it's non-essential, right. But I'm enjoying it. I mean, yes, it's not. I would like something a little more detailed, like the familiars from Ni no Kuni 1.
Yeah.
But it's its own game. It's its own thing. I kind of like that it is so different in a lot of ways.
There's a lot of systems built into the Higgledies as well. Like if we want to just look at a systems perspective, Ni no Kuni 2 hits all the marks of, well, this is a JRPG for sure, because it's got systems upon systems.
Yeah.
Kingdom management, Higgledies, they have their own levels, and there's a specific amount of usage, like number-wise, that they get to, that the level increases it, not on all Higgledies. And then you have the tactics tweaker, and you throw that in there, and it's like, okay, yep, we're there. We're JRPG level, guys.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the tactics tweaker because that's another thing that I read so much about how it's non-essential and you don't need to do it.
I love the tactics tweaker.
For the longest time, I did not use it because I didn't know what it was, and I gave into the review saying it was not essential, and finally I sat down and I was like, "What does this stuff do?" And I was like, "Wait, this gives me more XP?
Yeah,
this gives me more money."
Yep.
This makes my heavy attacks do more damage?
That's the first one I went for as well.
Yeah. I'm like, well, and there's one that gives you more iframes when you roll, when you dodge. And I was like, because I had a point where I was fighting a boss and I was like, this is kind of BS. They're hitting me and I don't think they should be hitting me. And I was like, oh, wait, duh. If I had this, it would have fixed, I would have fixed that.
I used the gun so much that I had to go for the one that regenerates mana faster.
I think I have only 1 point into that because it happened that I saw it and I had like 80 battle points.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess I'll just start dumping these in. And it's got to the point now, it's even weird. It's weird because there is like the systems of, doing more damage to this type of enemy or this type of enemy.
And you have to choose.
But you can swap them out back and forth. I like how they differentiate the enemies. Like there's one class called Beautiful.
Yeah,
it's not just called fairies because it's not just fairies. But it's those types of enemies. I like how that it wasn't just a straightforward. This is the fairies. This is the goo. This is the dragons. Even though it's kind of similar to that,
they just did it in a way that made it not like obvious.
Yeah, made it kind of in the world, in the zone, and once again, people saying that you don't have to use Tactics Tweaker. Well, you don't, but you would also be foolish to waste your time, like to completely ignore one of the systems in the game.
I agree.
Because it's helped me out a ton.
Oh yeah, I love this game already. I don't know if it's going to wind up being like one of my top 10. Depends on what else comes out this year and how it turns out towards the end. But I love it. The only real complaint I have so far is that the music's really good.
Yeah.
A lot of the tracks I'm hearing are just tracks from the first game again.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
The da-da-da,
that one sounds familiar. Yeah,
that's just straight from and I'm glad it's back. It was a really good track in the first game. I'm not upset it's here, but I haven't heard a lot of really good tracks for this game. Like Gold Paws is really good. I like Gold Paws a lot, and I'm hoping that like some of the other keys, Evermore right now doesn't have a track at all, and I'm okay. We could have some music here, so. We'll see.
I'm trying not to say some things.
I'm excited.
I've noticed there's some repeating with the tracks as well, and it's the loop. It's not as varied. I do like a lot of the sound effects and stuff.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem with audio as a whole isn't with the soundtrack. It's with the lack of voice acting most of the time.
Yeah, we do need to talk about this.
Because my biggest issue is they will set up this whole cinematic thing and then a character will say one line and then everything after that is just text.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well,
full cutscene so that you get to hear the character's voice once so that you know
what what did they do? Did they go on break? I don't understand. Like, what? Go on lunch?
And like this kind of thing happens in JRPGs a lot, but it's never been as egregious as this, I don't think.
Okay.
It's really annoying because the voice acting that I've heard so far is good.
Yes,
and when
it's
you
very
get to
good.
a spot where Evan is just going, huh? And then that's normal JRPG. That's what you expect to happen. Is that part where it's just and then the dialogue. But all of a sudden, then he just has a fully voiced line in the middle of that. It's like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, Evan had a voice.
Yeah, it's so weird. Because like I said, that's the biggest disconnect for me is they'll have this huge setup for this event. They'll show a cutscene. Then it'll cut to kind of like the gameplay view or whatever. One character will say one full line, and then everybody responds in text. And I'm like, but you couldn't have kept him in the booth for like a little bit longer. Like I don't know. It really pulls you out of like because I was like I was in the zone, and then I was like, oh, I guess it's back to reading.
It makes me wonder if they got some really high quality voice actors and just couldn't afford to keep paying them. if it's the Kiefer Sutherland Phantom Pain problem.
They're doing it. They're like, I am good for 100 lines. That is it. That is it. That's any 101 lines and the pay triples. So
we'll build a new kingdom.
And then everybody responds just through text. And and that's something I said. I like the voice acting enough that I don't do my typical thing, which is just read it faster than they say it and just click through it. And I guess part of that's probably because the voice acting is so rare that I'm trying to grasp at every aspect of it. Where I'm like, Evan, I've already read this, but come on, let's say the whole thing.
Well, and I really like Evan's voice. Like, it's really well done. I wish he would just say more.
I really do. I like the voice. I like the voice acting when it's there.
Yeah,
it's nice. I do like. What's wrong with Lofty, man? That's the King's. That's
Lofty is the only character so far I don't like.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, and I normally like mascot characters. Like, every JRPG has a mascot character. It's just the way it is. That's been the rule since eternity.
I'm gonna stop you right here. I'm gonna tell you. I can't explain it. I can't explain a situation, and when you get to it, I hope you love it.
I'm hoping Lofty wins me over, but and there's been some good moments with him. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
My favorite thing with him, though, is, sometimes the characters will say, the first line of a sentence or whatever, which I think is pointless. But my favorite is that Lofty says, a lot of times it was, frickin' heck, man. Frickin' heck, man. I'm like, I like his voice. It's just it's so great. It's like he got so much attitude.
Blimey!
I like him, man. But you know me. I am all about the cutesy mascots.
I mean, normally I like the mascot character too. He's just not doing anything for me yet, but we'll see. Also, to be fair, when I got told that Evan was going to get a Kingmaker, I was like, oh, what cool creatures! And it was Lofty, and I was like, oh.
So I knew Lofty was in the game.
Yeah, but
I didn't know. Yeah, I thought he'd just be like a dude you find.
I thought he'd be a fairy, like from the Forest of the Fairies from the first game.
But since he is a Kingmaker, I have hopes that like the final back when you get Ding Dong Dell back, like he turns into something crazy.
Yeah,
like he finally unleashes his true potential and is the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah, I hope so.
Or not.
I'm a little upset that the main antagonist just looks like he's got the same problem from the White Queen or the White Witch from the first game, where he's being obviously influenced by something, the purple power taking over him. That's the exact same thing that happened with the White Witch, and I'm like,
What do you mean by the main antagonist? Do you mean the Dolaran?
Yeah.
Okay, the snake dude.
Because he's using that, and maybe it winds up that he's the one that was influencing her, though. That'd be fine. But if it winds up that he's just being controlled by that purple sludge, just like she was, then it's gonna be like, okay.
No, don't say that, because right now I hate the mice people. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if it makes it, because that would defeat the purpose of that whole theme. It's just to be like, just kidding, guys. Racism doesn't exist. It was the evil essence all along.
Well, remember that the Mouse Black Knight was purple powered as well. Yeah, those purple flames coming up around him.
Yep. Okay, don't do this.
I'm calling it right now.
Don't do this.
My JRPG sense is tingling.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad that you said you're liking it a lot so far. Because I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not a big JRPG person, and I've seen a lot of people negative about it online, saying it's the most disappointing game they've played in forever and stuff like that.
It's going to be very divisive for sure. It's nowhere near so far as good as the first game was.
Yeah,
and I think the sequel-itis problem happens, where if this had not been called Ni no Kuni 2, I mean it had to be because Ding Dong Dell is here, but if it was not, then it probably would be doing better than it is right now. People wouldn't be so hard.
Probably, yeah.
But that first game, man, within the first 2 hours, that first game was super heavy. It was telling a story that had never really been told before. It was a JRPG about main character losing his mom, and unlike all other JRPG protagonists that lost their moms, he doesn't just move on with it, and he actually has to deal with it for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I put, I think, about 25 hours into the first one, and Oliver, to me, is still a much more memorable character in that first 25 hours compared to Evan.
Yeah.
Where Evan, dad dies, caretaker dies, everybody dies. Like, man, everybody's dead, but I got this new kingdom, so.
Also, the fact that Evan has yet to say his dad's name and has said Nella's name like 4 times, I'm like, okay, Evan. All right. I mean, you did just find out your dad was murdered. But no, let's just focus on your maid. It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good point, because it doesn't really affect him, it seems like. He's like, my dad's dead. Pfft. Okay, cool.
Nella.
Yeah. They're trying to force you to pull on the heartstrings there.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked Nella. I mean, as soon as we got Nella, I knew she was going to die. I could tell that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
It tingled, and I was like, yep, she's dead. But, you know, she was fine while she was there.
Yeah, I mean, for the 5 minutes she was alive.
Yeah. Before she jumped in the way of an attack and got pushed off a cliff.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, her dead body, like her laying up against that wall, didn't anywhere near look as damaged as she needed to be for me to believe she's dead. She's probably still alive.
You know, my biggest problem with a lot of these JRPGs is there's a thing you can buy in the game called an angel tear, and it resurrects people. So
there's an in-game reason for why that, like, it's called the Phoenix Down problem, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix Downs, Angel Tears, all those resurrection items don't actually revive you from KO or from death. They revive you from knockout, like unconscious.
Okay.
And so if you can get to them before they're dead, but they're just unconscious, yeah, it'll work. But if they're already dead, then...
That makes sense, because in JRPGs, if you don't use one, they always wake up. They don't res. They wake up with 1 HP.
1 HP. Mm-hmm.
So they're still hanging on.
Also, I found out the hard way this game has that problem of if the character's unconscious, knocked out, dead, when you beat a boss, they don't get any XP.
They do get XP.
Because Tanny got nothing when I beat a boss, and everybody...
I believe they get XP because I had a character get knocked out and level up. Still,
Tanny got nothing.
So I wonder, but I think it's a lot less XP or something.
It might be.
Because that was my first thought, because it happened once and I was like, oh, they don't get anything, and then it happened again and they leveled up, and I was like, how did they level up if they don't get XP? So I don't know, unless it was XP from doing it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it was because I did a bot. Maybe it was because it was a boss or something. I don't know.
Mine was not a boss. So.
Okay. So, because that's
up, and he wasn't even on the party. I hate it when my characters aren't the same level. It's legitimately one of the problems.
Especially when you have the one character that's one level below.
Yep.
It's like, what do you just make them all the same level.
Well, like when Batu joined, I didn't use him for the longest time because he was a level above everybody. Nope, you can't use him because he's gotta get less XP by not being in the party.
Yeah. No, he's always in my party.
That's fair. He's really good.
His spinning attack.
Yeah.
I don't like using him because he's too slow for me personally, but I mean, I found a hammer, and it was in something. It was before chapter 5, so, and it was like 198 damage.
It's pretty good.
While everybody else was sitting at like 80.
We didn't mention it much earlier, but I do really like the exploration of this game, despite the fact that your movement speed is really low. Because, I mean, you can get upgrades for that in your kingdom, but because there are Higgledy stones to find.
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's pump the brakes for a second. You can get stuff that makes you move faster?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
I mean, I still have the game up. Hold on.
What is it under? Left side of the kingdom, right side of the kingdom?
It's under the right side.
Because this is groundbreaking for me. I didn't know you could do this.
Let me see. It might be the barracks. Let me check.
One thing I'll say about the Higgledy stones, I wish they were marked on the map.
I do too.
Because if you find one and you have to go back to it, you're kind of out of luck there.
Oh, it's the Explorers Guild.
Explorers Guild.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I already got it. Maybe because when I first had it, I was like slow on the uptake. I was kind of like, okay, so I build this thing, I put somebody in, and I click on something. So I might have it, and I just didn't know. Because for a while there, I just was going through and researching stuff just to research stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I jump everywhere. I jump or dash. I get roll, whatever, everywhere. Anyways.
Man, I tried jumping everywhere, but sometimes how floaty that jump is really bothers me.
Oh yeah, it bothers me in a good way though. I like it because it's so dumb.
Yeah.
It makes no sense for it to be that floaty. But then also, I hit a rock at one point on the overworld that I could jump over, but my teammates couldn't get. I don't know. It was weird. Weird pathing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't talk about this, but how do you feel about the skirmish stuff? The skirmish mode stuff?
It's fun. It's like Suikoden Light.
Okay.
In that it's nowhere near as good as Suikoden, but it's still enjoyable. And it scratches an itch that, like, there hasn't been a new Suikoden game in a long time, so sure, I'm down.
I hate it.
Do you really?
I absolutely hate it.
I mean, it's not great, but it's not the worst.
I guess what I hate about it is at the end of chapter 4, I got a quest from my kingdom, I think, and it was to do one of those skirmish missions.
Yeah.
But I had to be like level 23 or something. And this is what I don't like, not my character level.
Your skirmish level.
My skirmish level should be that. So I'm like, I'm not going to go around and grind this out for this crappy skirmish mode that's not nearly as good as anything else.
You can just level up your people at the barracks.
What do you mean?
The barracks, you can assign people there and you can level them up there.
Oh, that levels up their skirmish party?
I think so.
That would make sense because I have certain people that, like, I had a mission that they had to be like level 12, and I was like, man, I never used the skirmish mode. And then I looked, and I had like 3 teams that were level 11, and I was like, how are they level 11 if I don't ever play this? But, yeah, I mean, I'm liking it. What do you think about the overall?
It's okay. I don't really like and I knew I wouldn't when I saw them. I don't really like the overworld sprites. Like, they're not obnoxious or anything. I don't hate them, but I just don't like them either.
Yeah. I think the actual ground in the overworld is, like, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I guess. But, I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. I hate that when I get into a battle in the overworld, it has to pull up a separate map, because that's one thing I love in, like, the dungeons and everything, is I can just run into a group and attack and then just keep going.
Yeah. You should play Tales.
We'll talk about it after the recording. This game has kind of brought me back into me wanting to play JRPGs, because I used to love them as a child.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't play them, I couldn't afford to play very many of them. So, like, I mean, Dragon Quest XI's definitely on my radar.
Oh
now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I was going to ask you about some other JRPGs to play.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, I could probably fit one in from now until then. But what do you think generally about the graphics, real quick? Because, I mean, Studio Ghibli. How did we decide on this?
So both are technically correct. I looked it up. Studio Ghibli and Studio Ghibli are both correct.
Okay, one of them is probably the Japanese proper pronunciation, and one of
that would be Ghibli. Ghibli.
Okay.
Ghibli is, I guess, the French pronunciation that's taken over here in America. I don't know.
Because they're not involved.
I just call them Ghibli. No, it's level 5 now, right?
It's just them doing it. And
level 5,
I think
they make good games.
It looks good. I mean, I think it looks. I can tell you, I didn't know that Studio Ghibli was not involved until I read a review that said they weren't. So
yeah. It's because they captured the art style of the first one really well.
Yeah,
they really... What's really cool... Go ahead, sorry.
I was just saying, yeah, they really did. I think it looks really, really good.
What's really cool is that they're still referencing that a lot in, like, Bodley, for instance. is very clearly based on the witch from Spirited Away and the witch from House of Moving Castle. Like they're still referencing it, even though Ghibli is not involved, which is really
Yeah, that's cool. I guess I can't. Is there anything else you can think of? I think we've kind of covered everything. The first. What's your hour count at the 4 chapters?
I was at 8, I think.
Okay, because I think mine was at 10, and there was one night that I fell asleep for 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is a problem I've noticed that I have with JRPGs, or with probably with RPGs in general. The first couple hours when they're doing the setup and they're building the world and everything like that,
the tutorial.
It's so slow. It's so slow paced that I think I just get too relaxed.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that would be me throughout the entirety of this game, but it's not. Now I'm sitting I have it on PC, so I'm sitting leaned in forward on the desk, which, I'm fully in it. But I will say I have it on PC. You have it on PS4. Mm-hmm. I was worried about the performance on PC, and it runs great. And I'm using my Xbox One Elite controller.
Okay.
And it has all the right prompts, so that matters to me.
Yep, I agree.
Even though the game's not on Xbox. So yeah, what's your overall general consensus? Are you excited to play more of it?
Absolutely. I did have one less bugbear that I wanted to bring up.
Uh-oh.
The save button's in a really bad place.
What do you mean?
To get to the save button, you have to hit on PS4. You hit the touchpad to bring up your menu, and then hit start to bring up the options menu.
Oh, so it's okay. I thought that was a dumb thing on PC.
No, it's just in a dumb place.
Because on PC, since I'm on the Xbox, there's no touchpad on the Xbox.
Yeah.
So I got to hit whatever the option. What I'm going to call them start and select because that's what I've always called them. So I'm going to hit the start button here, and then I have to hit the select button to pull it up. And it doesn't tell you that.
On the bottom no, it doesn't. Just put save on the bottom of the menu.
I only found it because I was like, the first time I went to go save, and I wasn't at a save point, and I was like, well, how do I? And I hit. I just happened to hit it, and I was like, huh, that's weird. That's a really weird thing to do, and it doesn't tell you, so it's even weirder.
Strange. But no, I'm absolutely game to play more in this. I'm going to beat it, obviously. Then I'm probably gonna. I don't know now, having played more, if I'm gonna go around and play it again in Japanese.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that it'll be worth it. There's not enough voice acting.
That's very true.
And it's unfortunate because I was looking forward to it because the first game's full of voice acting. In fact, in the first game, almost every line is voiced.
Yeah, that's something that I really liked about it from what I had played.
So, I'm definitely looking forward to more. I'm again not gonna gloss over the problems this game has, but I still like it a lot more than it seems like a lot of people on the internet do.
That's where I'm at.
Acknowledging the problems, which makes it seem really weird for me.
Yeah, people seem very down on it, and I'm loving it, and I'm reading these impressions, and I'm like, I'm glad I played this game before reading all of this.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have played it.
I wonder if some of it is just the rage culture that we have now with video games.
Yes.
Where when a game disappoints us, it's like the worst thing in the world. And I don't blame people for being disappointed. Or
I've noticed some people will straight up, because it's Ni no Kuni 2.
Yeah.
And it's not turn-based. A lot of people are up in arms about how it's a garbage game just based on that.
Yeah.
Almost as if these people may or may not have played the game. It's just they know it's not turn-based.
I feel like within the next couple of years, it'll really find its place. Probably by the end of the year, it'll have found its place. Where people will finally be judging it on its own merits, not on that it's Ni no Kuni 2. And I do think there is worth in judging something based on its name. Because, again, if this wasn't called Ni no Kuni 2, I wouldn't have expected fully voice acting either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm still really liking it.
That's great.
Go ahead.
It's great to hear.
I want Evan to get to do some stuff and actually be a good leader. I want Roland to get at least one more voice line before the end of the game. And,
that's true. He is so limited on.
Yep.
Huh.
And I hope that whoever the other characters that I get to meet, I'm looking for at least 2 more. I hope. But I would really like to round it out to 8 and let you choose between the 4. But whoever I get, I'm hoping they're good.
I'm not sure.
Gonna keep.
Is your Alexa going off now?
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm gonna keep pulling off these more like people and the references that they have, like the fact that is she still talking? Okay, good.
I thought she was for a second.
Oh, she was too, but specifically stuff like the dogs' names being a lot of puns, like Mickey. And
Yes, yeah.
I love it. I'm super down.
It is. I'm loving it as well, and I love how whimsical it feels.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
a shame that this game's gonna make people into furries. Because you walk into Goldpaw and there's that dog that's standing out there on that bridge waiting for people to come in,
are you
basically
talking about?
soliciting people. Didn't you read her dialogue?
I don't even remember who you're talking about.
There's a dog
So
going in right when you walk into Goldpaw that's basically like, "Oh hey," and like leans over to talk to Evan and he goes, "You're a bit young though," and like leans back up, and I was like,
the gambling. It's talking about the gambling.
"Sure."
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean I'm loving it. So, chapter 4 ended in a good place that had me interested to keep playing. So I've today, which were I hit it. I just had like word bubble. I was gonna say something, but I decided not to. I played a lot today.
Yeah,
A lot.
I'm gonna put some more time in tonight before I go to bed.
But I guess that's it then. We're both positive so far.
Yeah. If I had one more final thing to say before I hand it over to you for closing, I would say Ni no Kuni 2. Looking forward to some good stuff. And you owe me another Roland line. So
You
just keep
owe
that in
me. Well, that's been our first. It was going to be 5 chapter, first 4 chapter impressions. Look forward to the review, which will be Trey and I discussing and fully analyzing the full game. Coming out not really dead set since we do have jobs and everything, regular life stuff to do. But the goal is before God of War releases.
Yeah.
And you have Yakuza 6 coming out, so I'm going to assume it's before. I'm going to assume it's
No.
before the 17th.
Well, I'm going to desperately try and beat it before the 17th. With that said, too, hopefully our full review will start with the non-spoiler section since I started spoilers immediately when we started this video.
Yeah. We will have. I already planned on it. I wasn't going to do a split spoiler non-spoiler for this, but they will be. It will be 2 separate videos, non-spoiler and then spoiler discussion for the full game. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Absolutely.
If you have any questions, you can email us at
The Full Spectrum Podcast.
@gmail.com.
Or you can put it in the comment section down below.
That's true. Yeah, please comment.
Believe it or not, but our editors, I can't get my hand in your camera, actually read every comment, so, you know.
All right. Well, it's been a good time. Stay safe out there.
And remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Ni no Kuni 2 has to offer.
Peace.